In the heart of Africa, nestled between lush forests and rolling savannas, lay the village of Nkurunziza, known for its serene beauty and harmonious living. Nkurunziza was a place where the elders' wisdom guided the young and the land's bounty sustained all. The village was surrounded by tall baobab trees and flowing rivers that provided for the community. The houses, built from mud and thatch, were decorated with colorful patterns that told the stories of their ancestors. Life in Nkurunziza was simple and fulfilling. Yet, beneath the surface of this idyllic community lay a legend that would forever change the course of its history. The legend of the hidden treasure. Long ago, when the ancestors of Nkurunziza first settled in these fertile lands, they were visited by a mystical creature known as Nyoka, the serpent spirit. Nyoka, a creature of immense power and wisdom, appeared in the village founding elder Chief Mawamba in a dream. The serpent spirit revealed the existence of a treasure hidden deep within the forest, a treasure of unimaginable wealth. However, Nyoka warned Chief Mawamba that this treasure was not a mere gift, but a test from the gods. Those who sought the treasure out of greed would bring ruin upon themselves and the village. The curse attached to the treasure would unleash chaos and sorrow on anyone who pursued it with selfish intentions. The treasure, therefore, was meant to teach the villagers the value of contentment and the perils of greed. Chief Mawamba, wise and honorable, heeded Nyoka's warning. He decided to pass down the tale as a cautionary legend to his descendants. Over the generations, the story became a part of the village's cultural fabric, a bedtime story for children, and a reminder for adults of the virtues of humility and integrity. The treasure itself became a distant echo of a forgotten time, a legend whispered in the winds that rustled through the trees. But as the years turned and new generations arose, the allure of the hidden treasure began to whisper more insistently to the hearts of the villagers. The tale that once served as a moral lesson started to stir curiosity and desire in the minds of the young and restless. Nkurunziza was a tapestry of life and culture. The village thrived under the gentle leadership of Elder Kato, a man known for his profound wisdom and deep connection to the land. Elder Kato was a figure of respect, his long white beard flowing like the river and his eyes twinkling with a secret wisdom. His hut, situated at the center of the village, was a place of counsel and decision-making. The mornings in Nkurunziza were filled with the songs of birds and the bustling of the market. Women weaved colorful fabrics, their hands moving skillfully as they created intricate patterns. Children played under the watchful eyes of their parents, their laughter ringing through the air. The men tended to the fields and livestock, ensuring that the village had enough food and resources. Life was simple yet fulfilling. One bright morning, as the villagers gathered in the central square for the weekly market, Elder Kato stood before them. The central square was a lively place, with stalls filled with fruits, vegetables, handmade crafts, and various other goods. The air was filled with the smell of fresh produce and the sound of haggling. "Children of Nkurunziza," Elder Kato began, his voice strong and reassuring. "We are blessed with fertile lands and bountiful harvests. Our ancestors' spirits watch over us, and we must honor their legacy by living with integrity and humility." The villagers nodded in agreement, their faces glowing with pride and respect for their elder. Among them was a young man named Kamau, known for his curiosity and adventurous spirit. Kamau had always been drawn to the legends and stories of the past. He would often spend hours listening to the elders, his eyes wide with wonder. Kamau had heard the legend of the hidden treasure many times, but unlike his fellow villagers, he felt a burning desire to uncover its secrets. The idea of finding the treasure fascinated him, not just for the wealth it promised, but for the adventure it represented. He dreamed of being a hero, the one who brought prosperity to his village. As the villagers dispersed to continue their daily activities, Kamau lounged in the square, lost in thoughts. His mind raced with the possibilities of what the treasure could mean for him and his people. Little did he know that his curiosity would soon set him on a path filled with danger and deception, a path that would test his values and change his life forever. Kamau's curiosity about the treasure grew with each passing day. He began to wander deeper into the forest, hoping to find clues that would lead him to the hidden fortune. The forest was a place of mystery and beauty, with tall trees that seemed to touch the sky and a canopy so dense that it blocked out the sun in places. The forest floor was covered in a thick carpet of leaves, and the air was filled with sounds of animals and the rustling of the wind. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its golden hue over the village, Kamau approached Elder Kato. The elder was sitting outside his hut, gazing at the setting sun with a serene expression. "Elder," Kamau began cautiously, "do you believe the legend of the hidden treasure is true?" Elder Kato's eyes narrowed slightly as he studied Kamau's face. He could sense the young man's restlessness. "The legend is as old as our village, Kamau. It is a story meant to teach us the value of contentment and the dangers of greed." "But what if the treasure is real?" Kamau pressed. "What if it could bring prosperity to our village?" Elder Kato sighed deeply. He had seen this look in the eyes of others before. A look that could lead to ruin. The treasure, if it exists, is cursed. Nyoka's warning was clear. Greed will bring ruin, not prosperity. Kamau left the elder's hut with a heavy heart. But his resolve only grew stronger. He couldn't shake the feeling that the treasure was his destiny. The idea of turning back now seemed impossible. He had to know the truth, even if it meant risking everything. Kamau began to spend more time in the forest, searching for any sign of the treasure. He followed old paths and carved new ones, driven by a determination that seemed to grow stronger with each passing day. The deeper he went, the more he felt a strange sense of connection to the legend. It was as if the forest itself was guiding him. One day, while exploring a particularly dense part of the forest, Kamau stumbled upon an ancient tree with strange markings on its trunk. The markings resembled symbols he had seen in the old village manuscripts. His heart raced as he realized he might have found a clue. Kamau returned to the village that evening, his mind buzzing with excitement. He decided to approach Elder Kato once more, hoping the elder could help him decipher the markings. "Elder, I found something in the forest," Kamau said, showing Kato a sketch of the markings. "Do you know what these mean?" Elder Kato examined the sketch carefully. "These are old symbols, Kamau. They speak of a hidden place, guarded by ancient spirits. But remember, the path to such a place is dangerous. Many have tried and failed. "I understand, Elder," Kamau replied, "but I must try. I believe this is my destiny." Elder Kato looked at Kamau with a mixture of pride and concern. "Very well, Kamau, but be cautious. The forest holds many secrets, and not all of them are meant to be uncovered." Kamau nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. He knew the journey ahead would be difficult, but he was ready to face whatever challenges lay in his path. With the elder's blessing, he set out to uncover the truth behind the legend, unaware of the dangers that awaited him. One night, as Kamau lay under the stars, pondering his next move, a strange figure approached him. It was Shuja, the village trickster, known for his cunning and deceitful ways. Shuja was a tall, slender man with sharp features and eyes that gleamed with mischief. He had a reputation for getting into trouble and leading others astray. "Kamau," Shuja said, his voice smooth and enticing. "I have heard you're looking for the hidden treasure. I can help you find it." Kamau regarded Shuja with suspicion. He knew of the trickster's reputation and was wary of his intentions. "Why would you help me?" Shuja grinned, his teeth flashing in the moonlight. "Because I love a good adventure, and I know where to start. But remember, Kamau, the path to the treasure is fraught with danger and deceit. You will need to trust me." Kamau hesitated. He knew he needed help, but he wasn't sure if he could trust Shuja. The trickster seemed genuine, but there was something about him that made Kamau uneasy. Despite his reservations, Kamau's desire for the treasure overweighted his doubts. "All right, Shuja, lead the way." The next morning, Kamau and Shuja set off at dawn, venturing deep into the heart of the forest. The forest was dense and dark, with thick underbrush that made progress slow and difficult. As they walked, Shuja regaled Kamau with stories of his past adventures, waving tales of danger and excitement. The journey was treacherous, filled with hidden traps and dangerous creatures. They encountered venomous snakes, treacherous quicksand, and hidden pits that threatened to swallow them whole. Each time they faced a challenge, Shuya seemed to have a solution. But Kamau began to notice a pattern. Shuja always managed to escape unscathed, while Kamau narrowly avoided disaster each time. One day, they came across a river with a narrow, rickety bridge spanning its width. The river was fast-flowing and filled with sharp rocks. Shuja stepped onto the bridge first, his movements confident and sure. Kamau followed cautiously, his heart pounding in his chest. Halfway across the bridge, Shuja stopped and turned to Kamau. "Kamau, do you trust me?" Kamau frowned, unsure of where this was leading. "I suppose so." Shuja's grin widened. "Good, because you need to trust me completely if we are going to find the treasure." Kamau nodded, though his unease grew stronger. They continued across the bridge, but Kamau couldn't shake the feeling that Shuja was hiding something from him. One evening, as they set up a camp by a river, Kamau decided to confront Shuja. "Shuja, what are you really after? Why are you helping me?" Shuja's expression turned serious for a moment before he broke into a laugh. "Kamau, I'm helping you because I want to see if the legend is true. If we find this treasure, we can both benefit. But remember, the path is dangerous. We need to trust each other." Kamau nodded, though he still felt a nagging doubt. He knew that he needed Shuja's help, but he also knew that he couldn't fully trust the trickster. As they continued their journey, Kamau resolved to keep a close eye on Shuja, ready to protect himself if necessary. As they traveled, Shuja's true nature began to reveal itself. Shuja always led Kamau into perilous situations from which he himself escaped unscathed, leaving Kamau in great strength-sapping difficulties, only to help him at the end and act as his savior. One day, they encountered a mysterious old woman, Amina, who lived alone in a small hut. Amina was a wise elder with knowledge of the forest's secrets. She warned them of the curse and offered Kamau a chance to turn back. "The treasure is not worth the pain it will bring," Amina said. Her eyes were filled with sorrow. "Turn back now, while you still can." But Kamau, driven by his desire, refused to heed her warning. Shuja, sensing an opportunity, convinced Kamau to press on. As they continued their journey, Kamau began to notice a change in Shuya. The trickster's demeanor grew darker and his intentions more sinister. One night, as they camped by a river, Kamau overheard Shuja speaking to himself. "Soon the treasure will be mine. Kamau is just a pawn in my game." Kamau's heart sank. He realized that Shuja had been using him all along. Determined to outsmart the trickster, Kamau devised a plan. As Kamau and Shuja delved deeper into the forest, they stumbled upon an ancient map etched into the bark of a massive baobab tree. This map depicted the location of the hidden treasure and the various trials they would face. Excited by their discovery, Kamau and Shuja followed the map's directions, encountering magical creatures and solving intricate puzzles. One day, after a long and difficult travel, they came to a clearing where the final trial awaited. According to the map, they needed to cross a bridge guarded by Nyoka, the serpent spirit. As they approached the bridge, Nyoka emerged from the shadows, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. "Who dares to seek the treasure?" Nyoka hissed, her voice echoing through the forest. Kamau stepped forward, his heart pounding. "We seek the treasure, great Nyoka, but I understand now that greed has led us astray." "You speak the truth, Kamau. The treasure is cursed, and those who seek it for selfish reasons will face their doom." Suddenly, Shuja lunged at Kamau, trying to push him into the river. But Kamau was ready. He dodged Shuja's attack and grabbed the trickster, throwing him towards Nyoka. The serpent spirit wrapped herself around Shuja, her scales shimmering with a dark magic. "You have betrayed your friend and sought the treasure out of greed. You shall face the curse." With a final chilling hiss, Nyoka and Shuja disappeared into the darkness, leaving Kamau alone on the bridge. Kamau, shaken by the encounter, made his way back to the village. He carried with him not the treasure, but the wisdom that he had gained from his journey. When he arrived, the villagers gathered around him, eager to hear his tale. Elder Kato stepped forward, his eyes filled with concern. "What have you learned, Kamau?" Kamau took a deep breath and recounted his adventure, including Shuja's betrayal and Nyoka's warning. The villagers listened in stunned silence, their faces reflecting a mixture of fear and awe. "The treasure is real," Kamau concluded, "but it's cursed. We must remember the lesson of our ancestors and live with integrity and humility." Elder Kato nodded. His eyes twinkled with pride. "You have done well, Kamau. You have proven that wisdom and courage are more valuable than any treasure." In the years that followed, Kamau became a respected elder, sharing his story with the younger generations. The legend of the hidden treasure remained a cautionary tale, reminding the villagers of the virtues of contentment and the dangers of greed. Nkurunziza thrived, not because of a hidden treasure, but because of the wisdom and the unity of its people. And every evening, as the sun set over the village, the children would gather around the fire, listening to Kamau's tale, knowing that the true treasure lay not in gold or jewels, but in the strength of their community and the purity of their hearts. The village of Nkurunziza continued to flourish, its people united by the lessons of the past. Kamau, now an elder, watched over the village with a sense of fulfillment. He had learned that the greatest treasures were the bonds of love and trust that held the community together. As the sun set on another peaceful day, Kamau stood at the edge of the forest, where his journey had begun. He whispered a silent prayer to the ancestors, thanking them for their guidance and protection. And in the distance, hidden deep within the heart of the forest, Nyoka, the serpent spirit, watched over the village, her eyes glowing with a silent promise that as long as the people of Nkurunziza remember the lessons of the past, the curse would remain a distant memory, and the village would remain a beacon of harmony and wisdom for generations to come.